The transfer window is entering its decisive stage, and the situation around Liverpool, Marc Guehi and Alexander Isak is gathering significant pace as the clock ticks down. Crystal Palace have finally accepted that their captain will most likely depart before the deadline, with Liverpool pushing to secure his services after weeks of back-and-forth negotiations. The England international has entered the final year of his contract, and with Palace facing the prospect of losing him for nothing in 12 months, the pressure is firmly on chairman Steve Parish to sanction a deal that allows the club to reinvest before the window closes. Liverpool, meanwhile, view Guehi as a crucial piece in bolstering their back line, which has already shown early signs of vulnerability this season despite the presence of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konaté. Talks first began earlier this month, but disagreements over the valuation brought discussions to a temporary halt. Palace placed a firm £45 million price tag on their centre-back, while Liverpool's recruitment team were unwilling to stretch beyond £35 million, believing that Guehi's contract situation reduces his true market value. But following Palace's Conference League qualification tie, negotiations are expected to reignite with greater intensity. Oliver Glasner, the Palace manager, has been forced to use Guehi in Europe because of limited squad depth, but he has already hinted that the situation is largely out of his hands, acknowledging the financial reality and the board's stance that a sale is on the table. Palace's recruitment department has quietly accelerated their search for defensive replacements, with Manchester City's Manuel Akanji emerging as one of the names under active consideration. The Swiss international carries the experience Palace desire, but competition from Bayer Leverkusen and Galatasaray could complicate matters. Simultaneously, a move for Monaco's Mohamed Salisu has also been explored, initially in the form of a loan. Other names, such as Jeremy Jacquet of Rennes and JD Canvaud of Toulouse, have been discussed, but the sense within the club is that Guehi's departure is inevitable, and Palace must be prepared. Liverpool's pursuit of Guehi is not happening in isolation, however, and is tied into a wider chain of transfer dominoes involving Newcastle's Alexander Isak and Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson. The Reds remain locked in on Isak as their preferred attacking addition, having been encouraged by the Swedes' openness to the move, but Newcastle's valuation remains a formidable stumbling block. Isak has made his desire clear by training away from the main group in recent weeks, a stance that has put significant pressure on Eddie Howe and the Newcastle hierarchy. Liverpool are well aware that their attacking recruitment may determine whether Chelsea release Jackson to Bayern Munich, with the Blues hesitant to sanction an exit without clarity on Isak's situation. Chelsea's position is simple. If Isak leaves Newcastle for Liverpool, the Magpies may immediately target Jackson as a replacement. That possibility has led to an unusual standstill in the market, with all three clubs effectively waiting for the other to make a definitive move. At the same time, Arsenal's activities have added a layer of intrigue to the closing days of the window. The Gunners have splashed heavily this summer, with Eberechi Eze arriving from Palace in a record deal worth £67.5 million. That transfer has indirectly forced Palace's hand on Guehi, stripping them of two key players in one window, but leaving them with a significant transfer kitty to rebuild. Eze's versatility and creativity will be tested immediately, with Arsenal potentially needing him to deputize for Martin Odegaard, who is nursing an injury alongside Bukayo Saka and Kai Havertz. Mikel Arteta's squad depth has been significantly reinforced, yet the looming clash with Liverpool at Anfield will test the resilience of his new recruits. Eze, Noni Madueke, and Victor Gyökeres are all expected to play roles in Sunday's encounter, giving Arsenal a new attacking look that contrasts sharply with their struggles for squad depth last season. Liverpool, for their part, recognize that securing Guehi could be the decisive move that underpins their defensive structure for the season ahead. With Joe Gomez struggling to find consistent form and Konaté showing signs of inconsistency in the opening matches, Jurgen Klopp's successor on the touchline knows that reinforcements are required. Giovanni Leoni's arrival from Parma for £26 million earlier in the summer has been viewed as a promising addition for the future, but the club want another ready-made Premier League defender to ease the burden on Van Dijk. Guehi, with his leadership qualities, age profile, and proven experience, fits that description perfectly. The sticking point remains the transfer fee, but with Palace now financially incentivized to sell, Liverpool believe the breakthrough will come before Monday night's deadline. The impact of Liverpool's dual pursuit of Isak and Guehi is being felt across the league. At Chelsea, Jackson's proposed loan to Bayern Munich has been put on hold as the club wait to see whether Liverpool's strike force will be reshaped. Jackson, frustrated by his limited opportunities at Stamford Bridge, is eager to secure a move that offers him regular minutes, but the Blues remain reluctant to lose another attacker, with Christopher Nkunku edging towards a permanent switch to AC Milan. Bayern's patience is wearing thin, but their sporting director is understood to be keeping close tabs on the Isak Saga, ready to pounce should the chain reaction finally fall into place. At Newcastle, Eddie Howe is battling to keep his squad intact amid the uncertainty.
Publicly, he has maintained that Isak is central to his plans, but behind the scenes, the club's financial constraints mean a sale could help them balance their books after recent investments. Isak's camp continues to push for Liverpool, viewing Anfield as the stage where he can take his career to the next level. For Liverpool, the attraction is clear, a striker entering his prime, with the physicality and movement to complement their forward line, but time is rapidly running out for an agreement to be struck. Meanwhile, Arsenal's injury problems and their Anfield challenge highlight the delicate balance at the top of the Premier League. Arteta's side no longer looks threadbare, even with Saka and Havertz potentially sidelined, but the match will offer an early indicator of how well their summer spending has translated into competitive strength. Gabriel Martinelli, who has enjoyed notable success against Liverpool in recent encounters, is expected to feature prominently, while Gyökeres and Eze could both make their Premier League debuts for the club in one of the season's most daunting fixtures. The broader picture is one of interconnected transfer sagas, each influencing the other as clubs juggle financial fair play regulations, player desires, and tactical needs. For Crystal Palace, the imminent loss of both Eze and Guehi signals the beginning of a new era, with Glasner tasked with rebuilding a side stripped of two cornerstones. For Chelsea, the question of Jackson's future reflects their uncertainty in attack, as they weigh up whether to gamble on Bayern's offer or wait for Newcastle's potential interest. For Liverpool, everything rests on their ability to finalize at least one of their primary targets, with Guehi's deal appearing more attainable than Isak's but both still within reach. As the window edges towards its conclusion, the drama is only intensifying. Guehi could already have played his final game for Palace, while Isak's training ground exile underlines his determination to secure a move. Chelsea's reluctance to greenlight Jackson's departure is entirely contingent on what unfolds at Anfield and St. James's Park, while Arsenal's lavish spending ensures they remain central to the narrative, even as their focus is split between injuries and the battle to dethrone Liverpool at the top. The next few days promise to be frantic, with Liverpool holding the key to a chain of moves that could reshape the Premier League landscape. Should they succeed in landing both Guehi and Isak, the champions would not only strengthen their squad, but also spark a ripple effect that forces rival clubs into late reactive business. The pressure is immense, the stakes are high, and as Monday approaches, every hour feels decisive in determining who emerges from the window, stronger, and who is left scrambling in the aftermath.